In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to create a simple gable roof as shown here, and I'm going to show you how to extend the walls of the shed to go up to meet that roof on the gable ends. So to just get started, I'm going to go ahead and delete this roof. What we have here is basically, show you in plan view, I have an 8-foot, modify that slightly, by 10-foot shed, just like we created in the previous lessons. So to create, and I'm also going to go through and show you that the walls go up to level 2, which is at 8 feet 1 1/8 inch. So to create the roof, I'm going to go to level 2, and I'm going to click on the roof button. There's all different kinds of ways to create roofs. We're going to use, go back and do that again. See? Roof by footprint. So whenever I click this, it basically kicks me into the sketch mode, and the default is the pick walls button. So I can go through and I can choose walls. And if I click on all 4 of these walls, I'm basically making a rectangle the whole way around the building. And if I hit check mark at that point, I have created a roof. And basically that's what the roof looks like. So if you can remember from the very beginning of the lesson, that's not the roof that we're shooting for. This is a hip roof. It has a very deep fascia. This is called the fascia. The hip roof is basically a roof that slopes in all 4 directions. You can see this one does. And there's no overhang at all. The rain would literally run right down the walls. So what we want to do is we want to modify this roof, make it look like the gable in the beginning of the lesson. So to start with, I'm going to click on the roof, and I'm going to come over here to my properties to see if there's anything that I can change. First thing is, I'm not going to be building trusses. I want this to be a rafter framed roof. The slope is way too steep for a shed roof. We're going to use a 412 roof pitch, which you can see brings the overall height of the roof down. And we'll probably come back to the properties box. For now, we're going to go to level 2, and we're going to click on the roof, and we're going to edit our footprint. From this point, just to show you a little thing about the sketch mode for roofs, these little triangles, those tell me that the roof is sloping in that direction. So this entire line, the roof is sloping in that direction. And we know from the 3D picture that the roof is actually sloping from all 4 sides. For a gable roof, we want it to slope from the 2 long sides, these 2. So if I click on that line, I hold Control, and I click on that line, I can come up here and uncheck the box for slope defining. If I hit my check mark, go out and take a look at it, you see that the plan view of the roof has already changed. So now this roof is starting to look a little bit more like what we started with, the picture that we were trying to get to. Alright, the next thing is I want to take a look at the structure of the roof. This is obviously way too thick of a roof, and you can see it's just a generic roof. So if I come down through here, I've already set up a shed roof, and basically what I did is I went down to wood rafter, 8-inch asphalt shingle roof. I edit type, and I made a duplicate, and I named it shed roof. And once I was in there, it's going to take you back to the shed roof, edit the type. I edited the structure, and this is basically how I made the roof. The structure of the roof is going to be made up of 2x4s, which are actually 3.5 inches thick, and then we're going to have 5/8 inch thick plywood for the substrate, or the sheathing. And then we're going to have a 1/4 inch thick asphalt shingles on top of that. We would also put some felt paper in here, which would have a 0 thickness, but we're going to leave this just like this for now. So now you can see that the roof has a little bit of detail to it. So the next thing I want to do is I want to create an overhang so that this roof actually hangs out over the edges of the walls instead of lining up straight with it. So to do that, I'm going to need to edit my footprint. And I could do it in here. I prefer to work on my roofs in this view if possible. So if I click on, I can do my trick where I hover my mouse over top of the line, hit tab, and then select. It selects all the connecting lines. So at this point, I'm going to change my overhang here in my dialog box, the textual menu. I'm going to change my overhang to 1 foot. So enter, and it basically pushes the roof out 1 foot the whole way around the perimeter. If I wanted to, I could just do these outside walls, and I could make this one 1/2 foot, and that one 1/2 foot. So I don't have to have them all the same, but it does make it easier a lot of times. So undo, get those back to foot. So now I can hit my check mark again, and I can take a look to see what I have. I'm getting real close to what I had before. The big problem that I have now is I have 2 walls, my gable end walls, I'll call them, that don't go up to the roof. There's a very quick, easy solution to this. I can select the wall, and I can say attach top face, and then select the roof. And I'll pivot around and do the same thing for that side. I'm just going to take a look at a couple of different options here. I could do, as far as the construction goes, I could do my rafter cut, I could do a plumb cut, which is shown here. I can also do a 2-cut plumb. Now what happens is, I have, what you're not seeing here is on my properties, I have a fascia depth. Let me select my roof. I have a fascia depth of 0 inches. And that's why this looks so strange. So if I make my fascia depth 4 inches and apply, now all of a sudden this is exactly what I want. And it's kind of difficult to see. The only difference between the last roof and this one is the fascia defines, the depth of the fascia defines this line, and then it's squared off at the bottom. And that's where I would nail my soffits. And that's basically how to make a very simple 412 gable roof for a shed.